Students, whatever homework is given to you, you have to submit it on the very next day between 8 am to 1 pm to the given WhatsApp number, and it is compulsory to submit your homework as your attendance will be marked on the basis of your submission.
Hello, good morning students. Now we are going to discuss one more problem of our society, and that is the terrorism. Dear students, we are well aware of this terrorism because we are facing these problems from so many times. This is not only we, but actually the whole world is facing the problem of terrorism. It is a very problematic for the human society. It is a very destructive for the human society because due to this terrorism, the people of any state they would not live freely. They develop the feeling of hatred, the feeling of fear due to this terrorism. Actually, this terrorism, it not related with the one or two states. It is faced into the almost every countries of the world, and due to this, it become a global problems of the world. Terrorism led to the destructions of the human rights, bloodshed, destructions, fear, chaos, unrest, etc. The people living in any nations, they cannot live happily. Every time there is a feeling of this terrorism. Actually, the terrorism has no connection with any religions or the caste. Terrorism has no religions with the no connections with any religions. But today we are fixing terrorism with one communities that led to the truthfulness with the other communities, and due to this the various problems that arises. Terrorism is a very hindrance to the nations. Those nations who are facing terrorism, every time there is a constant fear of terrorist attack on the nations, and that is why their one focus that is always diverted on that terrorism, and for that they have to give certain money, certain part of their budget for the protections of the people. It's a very hindrance to the society because there was always fear of terrorism, and that is why there is uh, no conditions that would flourish for the business in those areas which is facing the terrorist problems more. Terrorism openly violate the universal ideas, the universal principles of live and let us live. जियो और जीने दो इनको. Actually, what is this terrorism? Terrorism is an organized, well planned, and deliberately violent act. Terrorists are engaged in the violent activities like the suicide attack, throwing bombs, hiding weapons, and using later them, kidnapping, hijacking planes, etc., smuggling, etc. This is the terrorist activities. Due to this terrorism, various effect lies on our society. First, we discuss about the social effect of the terrorism. What is the social effect of the terrorism? So, generally, the terrorists spread the terror in the societies, and it led to the disintegrations of the nation. Their main motto is to disintegration of the nation. Terrorism creates the feelings of fear and hatred. It creates the feeling of the suspicious among the people. It also breaks the feeling of the brotherhood among the societies. The activities like robberies, violence, attack, that is created more due to this. Education mostly suffers with the terrorism. It suffers very badly due to the terrorism. As a result of terrorism, the mutual faith and feelings of brotherhood among one with one community to another communities, that is dismissed. And due to this, there is the environment of untrustfulness that is created. Many times it leads to the communal conflict with one community to the another community. And due to this, they cannot enjoy the social functions in the societies. The chaos and unrestness is generated into the societies. Interrelations of communities in our society that is disrupted. These are the social problems, major social problems. इसके अलावा तो छोटे मोटे various problems are there. Now, economical impacts of the terrorism on societies, on the nation. Because of terrorist activities, conducive atmospheres for the trade and business is not developed. And if business and trade not developed in that areas, the people are living in those areas, they remain economically backward. There is a problem of their livelihoods, and they would have to migrate from one place to another place. So the first condition, the first problems, economic problem is that a healthy environment cannot be developed due to this terrorism. The second one, due to this negative effect falls on the business and the trades, and that is why the people migrate from that places. When they migrate from that places, they overcrowded the another places, and with that overcrowded, the various problems of the health, hygiene, dwellings, etc. that is created another social problems on societies. Another, some activities of terrorists, that is organizations on the extortion of the monies. The terrorists, they extort money from the rich, industrialists, wealthy peoples. Second, these terrorists are engaged into the anti-social activities, just like the drug trafficking and black money. And as a result of this, social and economic problem that also creates. Terrorists destroy the public places, the public utilities. Terrorists destroy some public utilities just like the railways, radio stations, road, bridge, etc. And our government have to pay money for the reconstructions of those. The major part of the nations, they have to give attention on those activities, terrorist activities, and that is why it becomes the hindrance in the social government. Second ones, as a result of this, the terrorist national transportation industries, tourism industries, that is adverse very badly. They suffer very adversely. It would not be developed well. And due to that, the people, they have to suffer more. Actually, much more problems that affect due to the terrorism. The terrorism of Jammu and Kashmir, we are well acquainted with it. after the 1988, the terrorism in Kashmir that got momentum. And even today, we cannot solve those problems. Due to that problems in Jammu and Kashmir, the good healthy environment of trade and commerce that is not developed in Jammu and Kashmir even today. And due to this, the people of those areas they have to remain backward, economically backward. Due to this economic backwards, various problem occurs. Our northeast regions they also suffered from the terrorist activities inspired by the Chinese revolutions under the leadership of Mao Zedong. Some Naxalist movement that is started insurgencies into the India in the northeast states. For the first time in 1967 in the West Bengal, as it is started in the Naxalbari village, as this fierce ideology that is started in Naxalbari village that is named, it is called the Naxalist movement. This now spread over the Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Tripura, Madhya Pradesh, etc. Due to this Naxalist movement, the development of those areas that is not developed comparison to the other areas, and due to that undevelopment in those areas, the condition of the people it remains very poor, very pathetic. Government could not bring trade and commerce into those areas, and due to the absence of the trade and commerce, the people have to suffer much more problem. The various Naxalist movement under the various names into these states that have taken the momentums, as into the Nagaland, NSCNs, National Socialist Council of the Nagaland, Manipur, that is the KNF, Kuki National Front, and KNA, Kuki National Army. In the Tripuras, NLFT, National Liberations Front of Tripuras, ATTF, All Tripura Tiger Force, TUJS, Tripura Upjati Juna Samiti, etc. And in Assam, ULFA, UMF, NDFB, and PLTF. Under this various name, these Naxalist movement have got memory. So, dear students, this terrorism it is a global problem, and we, India, suffer the most of it.